Hey there and welcome to Celeb Tea. Rihanna didn't drop an album this time. She dropped bombshells. And not just any kind. These allegations are seismic, shaking the foundations of the music industry and pulling back the velvet curtain on some of its most untouchable names. Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and their close associate, Diddy. It's not just messy, it's borderline sinister. So, what exactly has Rihanna exposed? Buckle up, because the details are explosive. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind. There was a time when Rihanna idolized Beyoncé, even treasuring a handwritten note from her like it was sacred. She often praised Queen Bey publicly, calling her an inspiration. But fast forward a few years, and the tone has changed dramatically. Rihanna is no longer in awe, she's speaking out. And what she's saying could bring down an empire. Rihanna's journey began at just 17 when she signed with Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records. What seemed like a dream come true soon revealed a much darker side. Behind the glittering facade of fame and fortune, Rihanna claims she experienced manipulation, pressure, and even predatory behavior from Jay-Z himself. According to her, he made inappropriate advances when she was still a teenager and allegedly kept her isolated in his office, coercing her into contracts she didn't fully understand. Even more troubling, Rihanna alleges that Beyoncé, someone she looked up to, turned a blind eye. Rather than stepping in to support a fellow young artist navigating fame, Rihanna claims Beyoncé was complicit in the silence. It gets worse. Jay-Z is said to have tried dragging Rihanna into Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. These weren't just your average celebrity gatherings. Described by insiders as elite and depraved, these parties were allegedly blackmail machines disguised as social events. Participation wasn't always optional, and Rihanna claims she was pressured to attend. While Beyoncé's Lemonade received a grand marketing campaign and chart-topping success, ANTI stumbled due to the premature release. Coincidence? Rihanna doesn't think so. Industry insiders believe it was a calculated move to undermine her momentum and reassert Beyoncé's dominance. And while all this was happening, Rihanna says she reached out to Beyoncé for support, only to feel betrayed again. The woman she once adored wasn't just distant. She was allegedly an active participant in the machine working against her. Then there's the notorious story from Diddy's reality show. Remember the ridiculous cheesecake stunt? Where did he make his band walk miles just to fetch dessert? It turns out that cheesecake wasn't even for him. According to Freddie P., a former contestant, the dessert was for Beyoncé, who was reportedly relaxing upstairs while the group suffered. This anecdote, while seemingly small, takes on a more disturbing tone in light of these new allegations. Rihanna isn't the only artist with troubling stories about this inner circle. Rapper DaBaby reportedly attended one of Diddy's private parties and found himself in a room with Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy. According to DaBaby, Beyoncé allegedly made an advance toward him, a claim that stunned fans and forced them to reevaluate the superstar's image. Could this explain her unusually close ties with Diddy? And is there more to this web of connections than we've been led to believe? Diddy himself is now facing a slew of federal charges, some of which suggest years of coercion and manipulation behind the scenes. If he cooperates with investigators, as many believe he will, he could reveal even more about the high-profile figures in his circle, including Beyoncé and Jay-Z. But back to Rihanna, she didn't just endure this twisted system. She fought back. Yet that resistance came at a price. Her rise in the industry was marked by major wins, but her refusal to bend to the will of industry giants cost her in ways the public didn't immediately see. Despite the setbacks, ANTI still produced chart-topping hits like Work and Needed Me, proving Rihanna's star power couldn't be snuffed out so easily. However, fans began to notice her slow retreat from music. Instead, she focused on building her Fenty empire, a beauty brand that's now a global phenomenon. Some believe this pivot wasn't just about business. It was about freedom, freeing herself from the influence of the puppet masters who once tried to control her. When Beyoncé released Bow Down, many fans interpreted it as a direct shot at Rihanna. But Rihanna didn't stay silent. She fired back subtly yet sharply on social media, crowning herself the true queen of pop. Her posts became cryptic but powerful, sending shockwaves through fan communities and igniting online debates. Every lyric, every glance, and every red carpet moment was dissected. The tension came to a head during the infamous TIDL press conference. Though the event was meant to showcase unity among artists, sources claim that staff were instructed to keep Rihanna and Beyoncé apart at all costs. There were no joint interviews, no shared photos, just two superstars maintaining a cold, calculated distance. Rihanna's silent rebellion became louder as time passed. Though she never publicly named names or laid out every detail, her actions spoke volumes. She distanced herself from the music elite, took full creative control of her brand, and built a billion-dollar beauty empire from the ground up. No handlers, no distractions, just Rihanna calling the shots. In many ways, this was her ultimate revenge. Not through diss tracks or tell-all interviews, but through success on her own terms. But the power players she walked away from didn't seem to forget. Even as her career soared in fashion and cosmetics, there were subtle jabs and industry whispers. Beyoncé, once seen as a role model, was accused by some of co-opting elements of Rihanna's style, particularly during her formation era. Critics and fans noted how Beyoncé's visuals and aesthetic began resembling Rihanna's unapologetic edge. Was it admiration or strategic appropriation? The music world continued to shift. Other artists started echoing similar sentiments. People who were once silent about Jay-Z and Beyoncé's influence began to speak up. Questions about the cost of fame and who truly benefits grew louder. Some pointed to how Jay-Z had groomed multiple young female artists, offering them record deals that seemed more about control than support. Rihanna was one of the first to resist, and she paid the price. As for Diddy, the empire he once proudly displayed is unraveling in real time, with multiple lawsuits, federal raids, and explosive testimonies piling up. The fade is cracking. Longtime allies are fleeing, and insiders claim he's cooperating with authorities. If that's true, it's not a matter of if other big names will be implicated, but when. And if Rihanna's past warnings are any indication, Beyoncé and Jay-Z might not be as untouchable as they seem. There's also the broader pattern how so many Black women in the entertainment industry are used, discarded, or forced to conform. Rihanna, in many ways, broke that mold. She refused to be a pawn. She refused to play nice with people who demanded loyalty without accountability. And now, she's standing tall, not just as a pop icon, but as a symbol of resilience and rebellion. What's most chilling is that many of these behind-the-scenes dealings stayed hidden for years. The parties, the blackmail, the calculated sabotage. Rihanna's story may just be the tip of the iceberg. And with Diddy's legal troubles mounting, a flood of buried secrets could come crashing down, secrets that involve some of the biggest names in music. If Beyoncé and Jay-Z are pulled into the fallout, it would mark a dramatic shift in how the industry views power, influence, and legacy. For years, they've been seen as royalty untouchable, flawless, revered. But now, that image is being questioned. Rihanna's bold decision to speak her truth through her music, her business moves, and her silence has opened the door for others to do the same. Meanwhile, Rihanna's fans continue to celebrate her, not just for her talent, but for her courage. In an industry where many are silenced, bought off, or intimidated, she chose a different path. She didn't sell her soul for fame. She built something lasting, something real. And maybe that's what the elite fear the most. Because when the glitter fades and the masks fall, the truth remains, and Rihanna, with all her fire and independence, may just be the one who lit the match.